speaking to Don Mader from good old US of A. We've had an eventful, memorable day. Please share it with us. Share us the story why you're here on the Isle of Man.
Well, we attempted to do this for the 75th anniversary, but we're here for the 80th anniversary of the death of our uncle and great uncle, Andy Piter Jr. He was a Tech 4 over at Ridgewell in Essex during the war, part of the ground crew, and he was part of 31 U.S. servicemen who were flying to Nuts Corner in Belfast, and on April 23rd, 1945, unfortunately the plane hit North Barrule, missed crossing the peak by 300 feet and killing all 31 men aboard. So fast forward 80 years, as the anniversary, we're here to honor him, pay respects to the souls that lost their life, gave their life. And we're gracious that you were part of the day to lead us around the north side of the island and have us gaze upon North Barrule for the first time.
Well, it was a real surprise and an absolute pleasure, a real insight that it's given me as to the events on that day. But I had been aware of the crash site and what had happened through the fantastic museum, which has been run by Ivor Ramsden and his colleagues down there at Ronaldsway, and that's part of the story, isn't it? Really, what Ivor's done has been remarkable. Without
question, he is a gift on the island, along with a guy that helped him start the museum, and we're fortunate to have him with us, Mr. Mike Corlett, down in Laxey, and Mike is going to join us at 90 years of age. He's already gone up several days early to put the American flag up on the pole that he installed back in '95. But getting back to Ivor, Ivor and I have been friends for close to 10 years, and it's been finally great to actually embrace and meet him, and all the wonderful things that he's done at the Manx Aviation Museum. He has a special display there for the entire incident. He's recovered many relics, and he also has relics from a crash that happened prior, and it's a little bit of the history.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah.
You know the story.
Yeah, I do. They're only weeks apart.
Yes, correct.
On the opposite end of the island.
Well, this is another one.
Yeah.
The theory is that the pilot of Andy's plane, his name was Charles Ackerman. He had 54 flights under his belt.
Yeah.
But his buddy went down in the summer of '44 in a plane that he was running across the Isle of Man. He had already done 25 successful tours, and he crashed the plane. So one of the theories is that Ackerman flew over North Barrule to find out where his buddy actually had crashed and lost his life. And in turn, it took Ackerman's and the other 30 gentlemen.
I think when you put these stories together, and the likes of today, and in our group, and we'll talk about the group in a bit, there are so many little parallels and twists of fate, really, and how we're here today. It's a truly remarkable story. Now, Uncle Andy, or Great Uncle Andy, what was his service? What had he been doing in World War II?
He was stationed on the ground. He basically was a Jeep mechanic. He came up through ordnance. He went into basic training in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and went out to Pomona, California, and up to state of Washington, and back down to Pueblo, which is where he met the 381st Bomb Group. Met a lot of great guys, and being part of the ground crew, they were together for 2 years. So he got several promotions and was a Tech 4 sergeant at the time of the crash.
And you've come across some artifacts and records and things. What can you share with us that have really, caught your eye?
Well, Ivor had some really precious things there at the museum, and one of the ones that popped up was a dog tag that was recovered lately, and it was for one of Andy's cohorts, and his name was Joseph Gray. and his dog tag was recovered, and we know the family back in the States, and we're going to take that dog tag back for the day. With regards to Andy, you know, nothing really specific in terms of like something tangible we could tie to Andy, but we do know that he was completely identifiable back at the base. I can talk to you a little bit about how they got back to the base, but the fact that he was discernible, we feel that he was probably toward the tail end of the plane, and we're looking forward to sort of examining that tomorrow when we go up to North Barrule.
So you'll be able to go to the site and just, unfortunately, picture it, and you'll be there at the time that the crash happened as well, won't you?
That is correct. Yeah, our intention is to be there for 10:35. Ivor has assured me he sort of knows where the tail end was placed from photographs and such. And it's really going to be an intimate moment to really reconnect with Andy. My cousin David, who's here with us, he was here in 2005, had a chance to go up on the mountain. He said it was very humbling, and he felt like, you know, the crew was there with him. It is a solemn place, and we're really looking forward to tomorrow morning.
I recall that time, I think in 2005, and it's just coming back to me as a news item. But anyone who's perhaps tuning in and looking at this, I'd urge them to go to the museum, the Aviation Museum, just outside Castletown, and just capture this full story, because it really is something that happened on the Isle of Man, where as a nation there wasn't a purely active role in World War II for various reasons, and this loss of human life is, I think it's the biggest loss of human life in a aviation.
You're right, Jed.
Incident.
Yeah, it was the largest air crash in the history of the island, and to the story where how they got home, the colonel who assigned them for this R&R trip actually had to come and retrieve his boys against really Manxian rules and regulations. He got to the island and recovered all 31 bodies back to Ridgewell, which was an amazing feat in itself. Colonel Hall and Colonel Shackley both recovered the bodies, all 31.
You can't imagine really how difficult that would be. But the whole thing, the whole story, the facts, you've covered this in a publication, haven't you?
Yeah, I started researching it back in 2003, and finally got enough information pulled together that I started to sit down and I published a book entitled An Only Son of the 31st in 2017.
So I'll be hunting for it online. How do we find it? Where do we get it?
It's on Amazon. So
Okay.
I'm hoping through Amazon.uk you can access it under the title. I brought a couple copies over to friend Ivor at the museum.
Yeah.
A couple signed copies, and hopefully it brings a lot of people a little closer to an important story that happened here 80 years ago.
Well, I urge everyone to take note of this. Look for the book and pay a visit to the Aviation Museum, and we've got the event tomorrow, and hopefully we'll catch up and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But thank you so much for your company today, and with the gang and learning the story. It's been memorable in many ways for me. So thank you
we're
very
grateful to your camaraderie and being with us and being part of our day.
No, truly, I appreciate it. It's not often you get to do things like this, and it really meant a lot.
Thanks, Jed.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Speaking to Calista Arfy now, we went on the tour today around the Isle of Man, and the theme, of course, was the crash site of the North Barrule aviation disaster, we'll say. And you've come along with the tour party. Please just give us a bit of background why you're here.
So it's a little bit of a long story, really, but the short answer to that is my family were kind of the host parents to Don's uncle, so back in Essex. So we think maybe that my family may have been like the last family that really saw him before he died. So it's really important for me to be here and be part of that and keep that connection going. And it was a connection that seems to have been lost at some point. So rekindling this has been really important for both of us. So yeah, that's the main reason I'm here today.
So when did this come to your notice about the connection with Andy?
So this was back in 2020, and it is pure chance really that we discovered this. So I'm from Essex originally. I actually live in Northern Ireland now, but I was still on a few Essex history pages. And I'd be honest, I don't really look at them very often. It's just sometimes things would come up on my Facebook. Normally it was just old photographs of different parts of Essex. But one day I was scrolling on Facebook and this picture came up, and it was a couple with a soldier in the middle of them. And someone had put a post going, "This is my last time attempting to find this family, but all I have is a story and a photograph, and on the back of the photograph is the family name Arfy." And I remember my heart skipping a beat when I saw this. I was like, this has to be my family. It can't be anyone else. We have such an unusual last name. And if it's in an Essex history page, it has to be us. So I reached out to the person who had made the post, which was an archaeologist back in Essex. And that's what started this whole story. So that's how I discovered that we think it was my great aunt and uncle who were born in the same town that I was born in. Most of my family are, who had been host parents to Andy, which is just incredible.
So it's just pure chance that you saw this social media
Absolute
post,
chance.
and you've got a natural interest in history,
Yes,
haven't you? You're a
yeah.
historian. Yeah, that's your
Yeah, I have
kind
a
of
background in archaeology
Okay.
and history. Yeah.
So you've got an eye for these things, and then you ended up getting in contact with Don
Yes.
and the gang. So just tell us how that kind of proceeded. What happened? It must have been really exciting.
Yeah, it was really exciting, and it started off with a conversation with Sarah back in Essex, who then put me in touch with Don, and then we just started this snowball conversation because at the start we just had the photograph, and I wasn't too sure who it was in the photograph, and we're still not 100% just because of record keeping at the time, but we're pretty certain. We're pretty certain that it's one of my great aunt and uncles. My grandfather, his parents' generation, it's like one of 10 and 1 of 11 children. So we're pretty sure it was that group. But I did all sorts of things at the start to try and figure that out. I have an ancestry tree. I tried looking through censuses just to see if I could place people at the time. I even reached out to some really distant family members. There's a branch of my family who are more based in Suffolk. So I even, a really weird story, but I had to, there's a member of my distant family who's like, does some kind of local government work in Suffolk. And I reached out to him just being like, this is possibly the strangest email you're gonna get. But I just wanna know, before, as I'm trying to start this journey, have you ever heard of this story? Am I on the right track thinking it's my Essex branch of the family? Because I just want to roll everything out. So that's what we're thinking at the moment, that it's probably a great aunt and uncle. But yeah, no, it's just the most incredible story. But yeah, that was 5 years ago. So obviously now I'm here, and we've kept that connection going for 5 years.
And just by chance, you happen to live in Northern Ireland, which is
Yes.
another part of the journey, so to speak. And it certainly tells you, that when you come across these little clues, that it's worth following these things through, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I would say like there's been some strange coincidences, some strange ties together throughout this whole journey. And yeah, I remember having the conversation with Sarah and then also with Don going, oh yeah, I live in Belfast, which is where the plane was going. So it's almost like I had completed that journey that Andy was supposed to have made. I had gone from Essex to Belfast, I had moved there. It was a strange extra connection to it. And
on a parallel, really, you've had an interest in war graves, haven't you? And so we're in the churchyard at Mackle, which is quite an inspiring place to be for many reasons. But we did come across some other war graves as well, and we talked about the War Graves Commission and things. And could you just bring in some of your observations, really, about that? What we saw.
Yeah, so I always like to look out for the war graves whenever I go somewhere new. So I worked for the War Graves Commission for the summer of 2017. So I was 19 at the time. I went out and lived in Belgium for a summer, and it was like the first time they'd ever done this program, basically, which was to get, you know, interested historians to be at local sites to be able to guide people through it. So I learned an awful lot while I was there, including, you know, how to research, you know, family members and headstones. And yeah, one of the interesting things was, you know, the knowledge that we picked up about the War Graves Commission headstones in more local places. So the kind of gist of it is, if you are in a random village or town in the UK, it's most likely that these people weren't repatriated. That was a really, really unusual thing to happen. And there's loads of stories from Belgium and France of people who tried to take their family members back home after the First and Second World War and got caught, and then they got reburied again. So there's a really famous example of that in Tynecourt Cemetery, where someone was illegally dug up by mum and dad in the middle of the night.
Wow.
And they got to the border before they realised to send them home again. So it's really rare to get someone repatriated. So I like to have a look around in the local places, because most of the time the rule is, if someone is local, they probably died in service but locally. So it could be that they were still in active service but, you know, maybe died from Spanish flu if it's First World War, or maybe they were injured during training or something along those lines. So I saw that locally there are a few War Graves Commission graves. I only saw one headstone when we were in that cemetery that was definitely a War Graves Commission one, and that person died in 1919, so it would be after the First World War. So already to me, that's like that person either, you know, probably came home successfully and either died from wounds that he had received while in service, or maybe had succumbed to illness or something along those lines. So that's always an interesting thing, is the local ones. Normally it's something local.
And it's such a very strong message, you know, a reminder that in these churchyards we're very fortunate that we've got people in the community who clean and look after the war graves, and they do stand out, and it's a huge important thing to do, isn't it, really? Just to remind you, you know, that I think as we discussed, you know, the history seems to be repeating itself over and over again, and you know, it's up to young people like yourself to push society forward to you know, avoid these you know, these wars and conflicts, you know, in the future. And I do think it's vital, isn't it, that remembrance is remembered, you know, year after year, and this, you know, at North Barrule, symbolically, significantly, it's vital, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. And I would say the whole trip has been amazing, but the work that Ivor does in that museum is incredible. And what I really appreciated about that museum was how personal it was. We learnt so much about individuals. They weren't just numbers. They weren't just uniforms. They were people. They were people 100%, you know. And it made this whole story come alive for us so much, being handed even parts of the aircraft or dog tags. Like, how much more down to the ground can you get than that, you know?
And of course, the dog tag being returned across the Atlantic is just...
What a great ending to that story.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and you know, fair play to Ivor. I think his energy and his magnetism, he just brings good people around him, and that museum, you know, survives with a lot of expert input, and from that, you know, there's donations, there's all kinds of goodness, you know, going to that site. So we'd recommend, you know, get yourself down to the Aviation Museum. But thank you, Calista. That was most informative, and we'll catch up tomorrow, I'm sure. But there we have it. You know, what an amazing story. Thank you very much.